Welcome to our second podcast of For the Glory with Penn State Blue Band and athletic bands. I'm Jeremiah Mondi.
I'm Isabella Viteri.
And we're excited to get right into it. So we kind of want to open up. We're going to just start talking about how pregame went. So how was pregame for you, Izzy?
I think it went pretty well, but I will say conditions with the whole rain and it was kind of gross outside was a little rough. I'll have to be honest, but pregame itself, I feel like after it not being the first game, I felt went a little bit better in general.
I think our sound was really good. That's kind of what I heard from some other people too, that we just sounded really good. Especially we just had a lot of sound and it was quality. There wasn't really any big hiccups on sound or anything. It was just a heavy hitter of sound.
See, I believe that. I mean, I know as the season goes on, we tend to get better, especially our musicality just tends to get better over the year, which is good because I'm excited to see how we are halfway through the season when whiteout hits.
Yes.
And just have, that'll be, I think once that, for a much bigger game, when the adrenaline gets pumping, it's going to be a night game. It'll just be a completely different experience, I think.
The whiteout's coming up quicker than I think we realized, though. I mean, it's at the end of this month.
Was it the 27th? 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, it's close. It's closer than we think. And, of course, we have Villanova coming up, which I'm very excited for.
Of course, Villanova. I'm ready for it.
Yes. It's the last of those 3 non-conference games, and then you kind of get to go into the Big Ten games, which, of course, the Big Ten games are always fun because it's the Big Ten.
I'm very ready for actual conference games. You don't get the Big Ten environment until you hit, Big Ten rivalries, personally.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. Well, we're going to kind of talk a little bit about halftime. Our halftime was a Wizard of Oz, Wiz, and Wicked show. It was so fun.
The Land of Oz.
Yes, the Land of Oz. We played Defying Gravity as our closer, and I thought that one was out of this park. I think everyone really enjoyed that one. I loved playing it. I think that one was probably my favorite.
That was the most recognizable, personally. I mean, maybe it's just me. I really enjoyed Ease On Down the Road only because I played it earlier. I think that was my freshman year that we played it. I just think it was just it's that more groovy, jazzy, I don't know. Something about it is just so much more, bouncy. I don't know. Maybe I just had fun playing it. Our part, was just, I don't know. The bass line always hits different sometimes.
I do think the Sousa Ease On Down the Road part might have been, the best part of Ease On Down the Road. It was just, it was just a good heavy hitter that you're just man, this is just fun. The whole show, honestly, you got to give our directors credit on that one. They picked a good show for this one.
No, I'm very excited, especially the little teaser. Our next show coming up, very, very excited for too. I think the music is very well chosen. Our directors have been very, very good at choosing.
Yeah, we've had quite a few good shows already this year, so I'm excited to see what kind of the follow through is, especially the Whiteout show.
Oh my gosh, yes. Now, I'm very excited to announce in about less than a month, our hockey season's about to open up. I'm incredibly excited. The hype behind, especially Penn State men's hockey, is just, I'm just ready. Getting to see their stuff last year and women's hockey, I was there for their ACA
yeah.
championship game. Holy moly, it was amazing. Oh my gosh.
They're going for another one. They're the top ranked, the women's hockey team right now is the top ranked for their conference again, which I actually went to both games last year. It was fantastic. They ran right through them. I was so proud of them. It was so nice to just watch them they just dominated. They looked so good on the ice. And same thing with our men's. The hockey here at Penn State is on the rise. College hockey is on the rise. And it's kind of cool to be a student in the band and a student that gets to go to these games and see, Gavin McKenna this year in a Penn State uniform.
Personally, I enjoy, because I'm in the hockey band, I really get to enjoy those second semester games and getting to see everyone on ice. Obviously, we go to the men's games. I gotta give credit to those boys. It's just such a great passion, and they care about their student section. Guy Godowski cares about his student section. It's just, I can't even explain to you how excited I am.
There is a very good, like, just it feels like connection or passion in that building. Like, even when early last year they struggled, and I was at the Wisconsin series where I was like,
I
this
was at the
team might
Michigan
be
series.
bad. Like, I thought that, our team was kind of bad, and they turned it around, and that's kind of just a testament to Guy Gadowski and the program that he's built, and that kind of resilience. And I think that's a resilience that all of us have as Penn Staters, too. I mean, like, there's always so much things we have to go through to kind of push ourselves through, and they really did last year. And now they've kind of set themselves up with Jackson Smith and bringing in Gadowski's son, actually, who's a great defenseman. And
Matt Gadowski.
yeah, Matt
Army,
Gadowski
yes.
and Gavin McKenna. And so if you guys don't know who like Gavin McKenna is projected to be the 2026 first overall pick. So he is like the best big prospect in college hockey. And then Jackson Smith was selected 14th overall by the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that's a really like top end defenseman. He is a very big prospect coming in. So they've done really well with their recruiting this offseason and building off that Final Four. And I'm very excited to see how that goes. And I'm excited to be part of that, like, in the stands, getting to watch it.
See, as much as I am very excited to have the new recruits, I am just ready to see some of the old guys come back again. Very excited to see Reese Lawback and Aiden Fink back on ice.
Yes.
JJ Weebush, Charlie Serrato. Oh my heavens. It's just, obviously they've just developed skills, and after the Frozen Four, and I got to go to the Frozen Four to watch it. It was a different experience. Like, just, I'm ready to see all their chemistry on ice.
Yeah, you got to give Charlie Serrato credit, too, that Charlie Serrato was an overager and got picked in the second round, which, like,
Yes.
you don't see that very often either. So he really had himself a good year last year. So it's exciting to see. And another team that had an amazing season last year was Penn State women's volleyball.
Yes.
They're off to a decent start so far. They're ranked 12th in the country after winning the national championship last year. It's super exciting. They've started 3-3. Of course, we do have a Pottle band that will be there for them. I haven't been to a game yet this year. I plan to try to go. I love watching women's volleyball. It's just a fun environment.
I didn't actually get to go to women's volleyball until I volunteered last year with the band. And at the time, I didn't realize it had to be a semifinal that we had here or something like that. And it was like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like, why is this so much? I was having a lot of fun getting to go to that game. And again, that whole thing of student section was hype. It was just a different experience. Like, you're in such a smaller environment than you are in Beaver Stadium that you get to feel it much more closely what it is to be a Penn Stater. That's the closest that I'll feel like that I'll be like in the student section.
Some of those smaller, like, that aren't the wrestling or the football, like, you can kind of really just like feel the energy around you because it's such a smaller area of people that it is kind of really fun to just be part of it. Like, I love going to see some of those games. I went and watched a lot of baseball last year. And all those things, they're just so fun to go to.
No, I'm excited. Honestly, I'm excited for all of our athletics this year. I have made it a goal to go see as many as I can, even with the busy schedule of Blue Band and being, football being the importance. I really want to go. I'm very excited to go see soccer, honestly, and lacrosse.
Yes, our soccer
this year.
teams, I think, are doing really well this year, too.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. And then, was it like lacrosse made it all the way to, I don't even know what they made it to last year. They made it really far from what I remember. And I was just like, oh, I really wish that I got to go to these games, so I'm making it a priority this year to go.
Yeah, it's honestly a testament to Pat Kraft, though, our athletic director,
yes.
who's really just like our program has just like, Penn State's always been a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But I feel like our athletics have just been going up and up and up. And I feel like we're at the perfect time to be a Penn State student and be here on this campus because it's just like everything's on the upswing. So gotta love it. Of course, football is on the upswing. And
Fingers
we are
crossed that it stays
leading
that way.
right in. We just gotta hope, kind of keep it together, go through Villanova and get to the whiteout. And that could be one of the biggest whiteout matchups that might be ever have played in Beaver Stadium.
Given the fact that it's Oregon, and it's giving me flashbacks to the Big Ten championship last year. And as bad as it sounds, I'm just worried of how that will be our first Big Ten team that we'll be going against this year. But the fact that it's a whiteout, I'm like, okay, I think they'll be, like, you'll bring the energy. I feel everyone in the stands will bring the energy to the team. Like, it'll be a very testament to us to being like, this is what it is to be Penn State. Like, that'll be, to me, the turning point of, is Penn State really going to be, like, the powerhouse team? Are they going to be the national championship? I think it'll start there at whiteout.
Oh, 100%. And I think it starts with Drew Aller, too. Like, Drew Aller has to be better than he was against FIU. And if he can really step up and really take that leap, which, he's going into a potential getting drafted this upcoming season.
Yes.
So you want to see him take that leap, and I think it starts with Oregon. We know the band will be there to bring our power, and we'll be ready to go. And the student section will be very ready to go, especially it being the first, big game of the year.
Too.
It's a night game. It could be, I don't want to say it could be, but it could be the college game day pick of the week.
I hope so.
It would make sense because it's the whiteout at Penn State with 2 top 5 teams. So hopefully we get college game day here. I would love to see that.
So with who's going to be taking charge for this, I think from just watching the last couple of games, just from Nevada and FIU so far, a lot of those, I want to say, smaller named people have taken really, really big steps. I don't see as many of their names pulled out. And just, who was it? Alfonso Ford Jr., the one that caught that interception. That was amazing. Oh my God. I'm excited to see some of these smaller named people start making a bigger name for themselves in Penn State football.
Yeah, you could definitely see a lot of people stepping up. And that's something kind of cool to see is when you see all these players that you're like, I don't really recognize that name from last year, and they step up and they make that big play or the big sack or the big interception or big catch, and especially the 3 wide receivers we got as transfers. That's, I think, going to be one of the biggest key differences that I'm excited to see how it folds
The wide
out.
receivers, I'm excited. After having Tyler Warren last year, I'm excited to see what Luke Reynolds does with the tight end position.
Yes.
I'm very, very excited. He's already shown, I want to say improvement, but we've already seen him start to make his name for himself this year so far. I think he had a few incredible catches just at FIU, and I was like,
yeah, he looks good.
yes.
I just want to see us open up the offense. We have the weapons, we have the quarterback, we have the running backs. We have everything this year to really turn into a truly good, high-end, big producing offense, and we have the defense to back it up behind them. So I'd love to see them open it up against Villanova, kind of going into that Oregon game.
No, you're right. This is the year. All I'm going to say is I'm going to wait for that Oregon game. We're going to see what happens. Whiteout will be the turning point. I'm ready for us to be national championship.
Yes.
National champions.
National champions. So speaking of national champions, we want to welcome on the Blue Sapphire of Penn State, Mackenzie Bronk.
Yes.
Welcome. We want to welcome in the Miss Majorette of America and Blue Sapphire, Mackenzie Bronk. How are you doing today, Mackenzie?
I am doing so great. Thank you guys so much for having me on today.
Of course. We were so excited to have you join us.
So we want to open it up, and we're going to ask kind of just about your childhood. I know you've been, throwing for a very long time, twirling for a very long time. Can you kind of tell us where that all started and kind of maybe who was an inspiration to get you started?
Absolutely. So my baton career has been a generational thing, I would say. Okay. So my 2 older sisters twirled. My older sister, Maddie and Serena. One twirled at University of Maryland, the other twirled at Virginia Tech. And then my mom also twirled. It looked very different back then, but I would say it's very similar. And then my grandma also twirled. So very generational. Wow. Everyone's twirled. It's such a niche sport. I feel like if your family twirls, it's very likely that you will. But if not, then it's kind of hard to get into. And so I've been twirling since I was 6 years old. But the kind of funny twist to it is my mom put me in it when I was 3 years old. I didn't like it for some reason or another. Oh, wow. I quit when I was 3. And then I joined back when I was 6 because I saw my older sisters doing it and I wanted to be just like them.
Did your older sisters do it here, or were they somewhere else?
So we toured on the same team all together when we were younger, competitive, but then we went to different colleges.
Okay, interesting. I think, which one twirled at Maryland?
Maddie.
Okay, because
yes.
I remember when we went there a couple years ago, didn't you do a combined duet thing? Oh, that was so cute.
And it was twice. It was at Beaver Stadium and at University of Maryland Stadium.
Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, that's right. You did twirl at both of them. That's so great.
It was awesome, truly.
So I know you had a lot of aspirations to be the Blue Sapphire and the Blue Band. When and how did that kind of aspire?
When I was 10 years old, once again, like baton twirling, the community is so small. You have a very clear view of all of the university twirlers, everyone twirling in college. And so from such a young age, you go to nationals and we have an event where it's the collegiate twirlers will compete. And everyone loves to watch. Like you wear your favorite college, you get to look at them. And for me specifically, the Blue Sapphire at Penn State stood out to me the most. So Matt Freeman, I saw him twirl at nationals. Rachel Reese, I saw her twirl and I knew. So I was around 10 years old when I first became aware of everything, and I saw the Penn State Blue Sapphire. First off, I just love the name to begin with. Blue Sapphire, I mean, a gemstone, I would love to be that. And then I just saw who they were as twirlers and people, and I knew that's something I wanted to do. And then I looked up videos. So when I was like 12, 13, I was like, Penn State Blue Band, Feature Twirler videos. And so I'd see the pregame, the halftime, and I just fell in love.
So you always knew you were like Blue Sapphire. There was not like you wanted to be like a majorette. It was,
yeah.
Okay.
It was Blue Sapphire, and any other college, nothing compared. Wow. I had other plans if it didn't work out, but for me, it was Penn State or nothing. Truly.
Oh, wow.
I just knew it was like my whole heart was at Penn State.
So what was it like then when you auditioned, like your audition process, and then once you got the announcement or call, like Mackenzie Bronk is going to be the next Blue Sapphire? What was that like for you? My
audition process was definitely a little bit different, especially coming out of COVID. And so what happened is you get asked to show a highlight reel. And I never twirled on a field. I never twirled with the high school ever in my entire life. Never twirled on grass. It was solely competition, gym floor, basketball court. And so I sent my highlight reel, and it was all competition. And then I had an interview in front of 8 judges. So it was directors. There's a past Blue Sapphire on it. And so I sat there. They all asked me a question. It was like, how would you adapt to twirling on grass considering you've never done it before? Why Penn State over any Big Ten school? Those for me just like came straight from the heart. So I answered everything, like full passion, full everything. I put everything out there. And then 15 minutes later, one of the past Blue Sapphires, Matt, because he was the advisor at the time, he called me and said, hey, Mackenzie, can you get back on the Zoom? And I sat there and I was like, wait a second, do I want to? Did I mess up? Did I say something wrong? Like, what's going on here? And so I hop back on the Zoom call, and Dr. Drain sits there and he looks at me and he goes, is anyone around you? And I was like, no. My mom's sitting right there, by the way, of course. But he didn't know that. Well, then he did. And he goes, Mackenzie, we would like to offer you the position as the next Blue Sapphire. And I sat there and I cried. My mom sprinted in and gave me the biggest hug. She's crying. I'm crying. And he goes, congratulations, but you can't tell anyone. And I was like, wait, I can't tell anyone. He's like, no, you can't. You have to wait until the media posts it. The Blue Band Instagram, they have to announce it first before I could tell anyone. And that was probably the hardest part for me because I went to competitions. Everyone knew I was trying out, but I couldn't say anything. They said, hey, Mackenzie, did you get the position? I know you tried out. Like, it's been a while. I was like, I don't know. But I sat there and I knew. And after the fact, once I announced it, people were like, we knew. We could tell just how happy you were talking about it. We could tell you got it, but we knew you couldn't say anything. So it was very special. But going forward, it's always going to be in-person tryouts. And I had to try out every single year. So thankfully, I came back every year.
Oh, I didn't realize you had to try out every single year.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. Wow. I can't believe how you had to hold that in, though. Like, not being able to say anything about it, I think would be the hardest part. Like, I know when something good happens to me, it's like, you just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And if something that big, it's like, I can't imagine having to just stay quiet.
In front of the baton community, too, because everyone knew. It's like going into it, Mackenzie's trying out at Penn State. What, is she going to get it? Is she not? Because there was other twirlers trying out as well. But people just knew because I just didn't stop talking about it. Every competition, I was like, I want to be the next Blue Sapphire. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they're like, okay, yes, Mackenzie. And did you get it? And I was like, But it was awesome. Yeah, when I could finally tell people.
What was it like when you kind of got that first performance in Beaver Stadium after all the trial and waiting up to get to do it? What was it like to step out of that tunnel?
As much as I could say, so it was very surreal. That's how I would explain everything. But this one specifically, it was very cloudy because of how nervous I was. So I was expecting my first performance to be like, I take everything in, I look at the stands, I look at the crowd, and I'm just so excited. But I was so nervous. I couldn't even think about the crowd because if I thought about it, then I'd be like, oh, if they see me drop, it's all over. They're going to boo me because I'm a new Blue Sapphire. It's like, eyes are on me. Like, media's come out. There's a new Blue Sapphire. So that alumni, people are going to be watching me and, like, seeing, hey, is she going to catch her baton? Is she going to go out there and drop? Like, how is she going to do under that pressure? Because as they knew, I had never done anything like that in my entire life. And so when I go out there, Before I went out, thank goodness one of my past coaches from my baton team came to support me that day. She was standing right next to me, and I was freaking out. I was jumping around. I had my towels, wiping my hands, like wiping my feet, wiping my baton. The people in the band around me were like, is she going to pass out? Is her head about to explode? Because I was so nervous. And I go out there, and I'm just like jumping up and down because my thing is like, if I'm nervous, I have to get out my energy because when I have that adrenaline, it takes it to another level. And I have to be as steady and as sound as I can be, because if I'm trying to catch a baton, my hand's shaking, it's not going to work out. But very nerve-wracking. But as it went on, I became more aware of my surroundings and was able to take it in. So it became more special every single time I went out.
Oh, man. So how does it feel like now that it's your senior year? I'm so sorry. I hate to say that.
I could cry thinking about it. But it's so special because this year's been different for me. Last game, I really felt a shift, as in, like, yes, I was nervous, but I was more confident in what I've been doing because I've been doing it for so long. I was like, I'm just here to perform for Beaver Stadium. It's not about me. It's about the pride and the joy I can bring to the people watching me and, like, watching the Blue Band. And if I can add any accent to how amazing the Blue Band is, like, that's how I see it. It's like I'm an addition to the Blue Band that makes it one collective, beautiful, like, art piece in its own way. And my senior year has been very much trying to connect with the rest of the band because, yes, like, my position's an individual part, but the band's my family. Like, you guys are my family. Like, truly, I love you guys to no end, and you guys are my family. And we always said that coming in, like, look to your left, look to your right, like, those are going to be the best friends. And that's what I'm really trying to take in this year is, like, the people that I met, the people that I've, like, grown with, because, like, people since my freshman year, people in the band have been there with me. We've been through all the same things in a different way, but we just get it. Like, the people around me, like, we get it. And it's just taking it all in every single time because every game is your last time in one way or another.
I guess that's a good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's hard to think about.
It's hard. I pretty much, like, tear up every time the national anthem or alma mater is playing because I'm not twirling. I'm just standing there and I'm taking everything and I'm like, so this is, like, one of the last times. But it's beautiful, to say the least. I love it.
So what kind of are your plans then after? Do you plan to continue twirling? Is there a lot of opportunity for you to do that?
So, as Dr. Drain always says, you can't go pro in Blue Band. You can't necessarily go pro in baton twirling. So, not really. Once I'm done collegiate twirling, so I finished off my competitive career last year, and so I gave up my title as Miss Major of America, and so now instead of twirling competitively and on the field, it's going to be giving back, whether that's coaching, going to teach camps, so doing all of those different kinds of things. It's going to be giving back to baton twirling as it's given me so much. Like, it's giving me the opportunity to come here, twirl Penn State, twirl in front of people that aren't necessarily just strictly baton twirlers. And so giving back, whether that's coaching, full-time, is kind of debatable because I do have a full-time job that I'm going into after I graduate. Thank goodness for that. But I will be coaching here and there, but no more actual physical, like, twirling heavily for me.
Because I know that you do, like, now that you mentioned, like, doing, like, the camps and stuff, I feel like I have seen you do that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. When did you have to start doing that? Was that after they announced you as, like, Miss Major of America and stuff like that?
So that even as Blue Sapphire. So since Blue Sapphire is a baton twirling position that people will look up to, any collegiate twirling position, younger twirlers will look up to, because that's always the goal. It's like, because you can't go pro, it's like after competition, it's college. And so looking up to that position, younger girls would want to learn from a college twirler to see, like, what can they do to get to that level? Like, what can they do to eventually twirl in college, twirl in front of 110,000 fans? And so as soon as I got Blue Sapphire, people reached out and were like, hey, can you come teach our camp? At first, I was so nervous because I'd never taught a day in my life. It was only about me getting taught. Like, I was learning from my coaches. I was learning from those people. So switching my view of baton twirling to teaching other people happened as soon as it was my freshman year. As a coach here and there, I teach camps, but then after I won Miss Major of America, I kind of skyrocketed in a way because with Blue Sapphire, before I even came to college, like, I won gold medals at our world championship. So I had those, like, different titles behind my name. And so people were like, hey, I would love to learn from her because it seems like she's been successful. What has she done to get into this level? And so my coach will always say, like, teach them everything. Like, it's very mental. And so, like, teaching from a mental side along from the physical side is very important. But that's kind of what it's turned into for me.
So how did you, like, make that transition then to kind of learning how to teach? I mean, especially when you're a freshman and you're still, like, overwhelmed with the emotions of becoming a Blue Sapphire, and you're like, oh, I just got in this position, but now I'm being asked to go to these camps and help teach.
Like,
what
barely
was
an adult, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I was 18? I don't know. And I was teaching kids that were, like, 4, 5, all the way to 6. And I was teaching people that were my age as well. So it was very hard because I do. It was very much like a do kind of thing. Like my coach told me what to do and I would do it. Trying to explain it to someone else was where I definitely struggled at first. As much as I would love to say, oh, it came super naturally, it was super easy for me to just teach, coach, think of choreography, it was very hard for me because every twirler is so different. For me, I'm very much like you have to show me, because if you tell me, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, if you explain it to me very much, like step by step, I could still not get it. Some people can learn like that. Some people, I have to physically put the baton on their arm and show them how to do it. And so it was very much a matter of sitting back, and it's every time you coach someone else, you become a better coach yourself, because you're able to understand how everyone is so different and what works best for majority, while there are some cases that are a little different, just learning how to tweak your teaching style for every single person. And that's how it really was for me. It was hard, but as I've done it more and more, I've fallen in love with it. I love it, and it's become slightly easier.
Do you think that's like made you a better twirler too, kind of getting to see it from so many other different perspectives?
I would say 100%, because it also is strict, like more creativity in my own twirling. So it used to be my coach choreographs a routine and that's all I did. But in college too, it's a lot of improv. It's a lot of twirling in conditions that you're not used to. But as I have to think about what could look good on another twirler, it allows me to think, oh, what else could I do for myself on the field that's different, that could entertain an audience, that could keep their attention. So I would say it helps me 100%.
Can I ask, now that you're like, when you're having to do it with like different people, because obviously we've gone through 3 drum majors now, how does that like chemistry change? Because obviously you're going to have to like know how to interact with each of them, and just, you know, seeing some of the things that you did with Carson last year, especially like that nutcracker thing, which was really cool. And now like some of the stuff that I see you do with Ellie, I'm just like, I can't imagine having to not like switch up the mindset, but just like, it's just a completely different challenge to be going.
It's a totally, that is such like an important thing. So when I first came in, I would say for Ryan, it was very much an older brother and younger sister. He was teaching me everything. He was teaching me parade. He was teaching me how to do everything, where to go to pregame, what past Blue Sapphire has done, and like what looks good for them, and like how could I build upon that myself. So I always saw him as like an older mentor. Carson, you guys know Carson. Like he is just a light. Like he is awesome. He was just a joy to be around. And it kind of switched, so then I was teaching him what to do in pregame. Because every time a new drum major comes in, I have to teach the new pregame spot. I have to teach them what to do, as well as just figure out what they want to do in themselves. Carson became truly a person I could lean on and like my best friend during that season. And being a guy who could lift me, like we would do lifts instead of like in Haluba, like me and Ellie will just run around and like we'll make TikToks and all that kind of cute stuff. Like we'll do more creative things where it just is different. So Carson, like, obviously he could lift me. So we did that in our Haluba practices for, like, sectionals. Like, we would figure out what kind of lift could we do to impress the crowd next. And for Ellie, she can dance. She can dance like I've never seen. Carson can do hip-hop. Ellie is, like, my kind of dancer with the leaps and everything. I couldn't break it down like Carson could. As much as I would love to try and break it down, I wasn't on that level, unfortunately. And so if he ever wanted to hip-hop, I'd be like, you do your thing, and I would just present to you. So you could do it. For me and Ellie, it's more of a collaborative, we can do leaps together. So in pregame, she was like, oh, I can leap. Like, let's try doing something of that nature. And she's just my, like, best friend as well in a different way. Because me and Ellie, I would say, are, like, very similar. Very similar people. We have, like, I'll do her makeup before we'll, like, go out and, like, hang out. Like, we'll do all those different kinds of things that are just, like, very girly, very, like, girlhood coded. Whereas Carson, I didn't do as much as that with him. So it's very different relationships, but all, I feel like it was a matter of thinking, how could we morph this relationship to be better for the band, so we could be a support system for the band. So, like, people know that they could come talk to us about anything, and we'll be there for them. So it's similar but very different in a way, and I think that's brings more fun and excitement to it every single year.
That was so cute.
Oh my gosh, I love all of our drum majors. I have adored. Thank goodness for our directors for picking good drum majors, because I don't know what I would do without like the best people ever, like side by side, because we spend so much time together, truly.
Was there ever any challenges then, like to kind of write what you wanted to do for the shows, or is it always kind of like, yeah, I got this, we're ready to go?
So it's hard, I would say, because sometimes they'll write me in the drill, sometimes they won't. And either way, one way or not, we'll figure it out, but I never looked at drill before. I never twirled with a band. So even this show that we're doing recently before Villanova, I'm sprinting through the whole band and like dodging sousaphones because I'm like,
I know, you passed by me at one point.
And like it's different every time. And so it was very challenging because I didn't know how to blend with the band. At first, it was very much me twirling and then the band. Now I'm trying to incorporate myself in the band. So, like, go into the band shapes and, like, toss high when a high note goes up. So it's definitely been a matter of learning as I've gone on. Every single show is very different. But as for my twirling, I would say halftime most of the time is an improv for me. Because I can choreograph a routine. Like, I choreographed my feature for this week. But I fear as soon as I go out into the field, my mind goes blank and I forget everything that I've choreographed. For some reason, I don't know why. It's like my brain moves faster than my body. But it's definitely been a challenge, but it's been adapting. And then leaning upon Ellie, especially this year, she'll be like, hey, you should go here. Or like April will go, hey, like she'll be up in the tower and say, that's a good spot, you should go there. So working with people has helped me a lot too, not just trying to look at the drill and say, I think I should go there. I don't know what page 17 or lock and step. I don't know when, who, what's going on there. So it's like kind of adapting, and I do apologize in case I like hit any band members or anything, because I'm like, I run through and I would hate to take one down. Like, and that'd be like the Daily Collegiate. Blue Sapphire takes out band kid by tossing in a hit their trumpet. Like something like that. Like that would happen to me. It hasn't yet, and I'm gonna fingers crossed it doesn't, but I could see it happening.
Knock on wood. Well, Mackenzie, we want to thank you for coming on today. It was wonderful to have you, kind of to hear your story. So thank you.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. It was nice chatting.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie, for joining us. We had so much fun getting to know you.
Yeah, it was so cool to just sit and talk to Mackenzie. Like, her story is one of those ones that you don't realize, like, how big that Blue Sapphire position is and how much she really dreamed of having it and how much it's a family thing, too. So it's kind of cool to see, like, the family aspect and the family values, which is something that I think as a Blue Bander and as a Penn Stater, we value that family and that tradition. And it's really cool to have that in Mackenzie as the Blue Sapphire.
Her telling us how big of a part she plays, and just like how much instead of putting herself as like the face, she's like, I'm an accessory to be a part of the Blue Band. And honestly, that it made me feel so much stronger to be a Penn Stater. Is like, that's right. Like, you know, we're the accessories of Penn State that make Penn State what is Penn State.
Yes. So we want to thank you guys for watching. This is our second episode, and we're looking forward to so many more. So have a wonderful day.
Thanks.